The massive glass dome of the Galactic Council chamber reflected the light of 1,000 suns. Ambassador John Miller stood before representatives from 27 different alien species, his hands trembling slightly as he held the treaty document. The weight of humanity's future rested in his palms. Earth Representative Miller, the council leader announced, its voice echoing through the chamber with mechanical precision. Do you accept the terms of the Treaty of Restrictions on behalf of your species? John glanced at Susan Blake, his military advisor, who sat beside him. Her jaw was tight, but she nodded slowly. Behind them, General Pete Harris shifted in his seat, his weathered face showing clear displeasure with the treaty's contents. We accept, John said, his voice barely above a whisper. Then, louder. Humanity accepts the terms. A ripple of approval passed through the alien delegates. The Zephyrians fluttered their delicate wings while the rock-like Gorons rumbled in satisfaction. Only the Valaks remained silent, their multiple eyes focused intently on the human delegation. John signed his name at the bottom of the document. With that simple act, humanity traded military freedom for galactic acceptance. No more warships above frigate class, no weapons of mass destruction, no military research beyond basic defense systems. After the ceremony, John walked alongside Susan through the station's observation deck. Below them, Earth hung like a blue marble in the vastness of space. They fear us, Susan said quietly. That's why they're limiting our military. Can you blame them? John replied. They've seen our history. 2 world wars, countless smaller conflicts. To them we must look like violent children. Susan stopped walking. But without proper defenses, how can we protect ourselves? That's the price of admission, John sighed. Access to faster-than-light travel, advanced medical technology, clean energy sources. It's worth it. General Pete Harris joined them, his boots clicking against the metal floor. Worth it? Ambassador, we just agreed to be sitting ducks. We agreed to peace, General, John countered. Peace enforced by weakness, Pete muttered. I've fought in enough wars to know that predators smell fear. Their conversation was interrupted by a soft chime from John's communication device. He frowned at the unfamiliar symbol blinking on the screen. What is it? Susan asked. Encrypted message. No sender identification. John hesitated. In his position, mysterious messages rarely brought good news. Pete peered over his shoulder. Could be a trap. Could be important, Susan countered. John pressed the accept button. A holographic display materialized above his device, showing a human face he didn't recognize. The transmission was heavily encrypted, the voice distorted. Ambassador Miller, the figure said, what I'm about to tell you could save humanity or doom us all. Who are you? John demanded. Someone who knows the truth about this treaty. The aliens aren't just limiting our military, they're lying about their own. General Harris stepped forward. Explain. The Valaks Empire has been building warships in secret. The Zephyrians have developed new weapons systems. Even the peaceful Gorons have hidden military bases. John felt his stomach tighten. How do you know this? Because humans aren't the only ones willing to break rules to survive. Check your Earth communications in exactly 72 hours. You'll find proof. The transmission cut out, leaving the 3 humans standing in shocked silence. Susan was the first to speak. It could be disinformation, someone trying to destabilize the peace. Or it could be the truth, Pete said grimly. I've never trusted this council. Too convenient, too clean. John stared at the empty holographic display. If they're lying about following the treaty, then we're not just sitting ducks, Pete finished. We're dinner. The next few days passed slowly. John found himself constantly checking his communications, waiting for the promised proof. Susan ran background checks on the transmission, but found nothing. Pete began quietly reaching out to his military contacts on Earth. On the morning of the 3rd day, John's device chimed again. This time, the message came from Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Network. Attached were sensor readings, energy signatures, and grainy photographs taken by hidden surveillance drones. The evidence was damning. Valaks shipyards hidden behind artificial asteroid fields, Zephyrian weapons testing in the dead zones between star systems. Garan military installations disguised as mining colonies. They're all cheating, Susan whispered as she reviewed the data. What do we do? John asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. Pete's expression was grim. We do what humans have always done when our survival is threatened. We adapt, we prepare, we break the rules if we have to. You're talking about violating the treaty we just signed. I'm talking about survival, Pete corrected. If everyone else is building warships in secret, we need to do the same. John looked out at Earth one more time. The blue planet seemed so peaceful from this distance, so innocent. But he knew better. Humanity had always been scrappy survivors, too stubborn to give up when the odds were stacked against them. Start Project Defiance, he said quietly. Susan raised an eyebrow. Project Defiance? If we're going to build a warship in secret, we might as well give it a fitting name, John replied. Begin immediate construction. Use whatever resources necessary. And Susan? Yes, Ambassador? Make sure no one finds out, not the Council, not our allies, not even our own government. This stays between us. As they parted ways, John felt a mix of guilt and determination. They were about to violate their first galactic treaty, potentially risking war with the entire Council. But sometimes, he realized, breaking the rules was the only way to survive. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, far from prying alien eyes, construction would soon begin on humanity's first true warship in the age of galactic politics. The USS Defiance would become humanity's hope and their greatest secret. But for now, John Miller returned to his quarters, carrying the weight of a decision that could save or doom his entire species. The asteroid base looked like nothing special from the outside. Buried deep within the Kuiper Belt, it appeared as just another floating rock among millions. But inside, hundreds of humans worked around the clock on humanity's greatest secret. Captain. Lisa Wong checked her tablet as she walked through the main construction bay. The ship taking shape before her was unlike anything Earth had ever built. Sleek and deadly, the USS Defiance stretched over 2 kilometers from bow to stern. Dr. Carter, status report. She called to a man covered in grease and wearing a worn jumpsuit. Dr. Alan Carter looked up from the engine core he was installing. Good news and bad news, Captain. The good news is our new drive system works. The bad news is it works too well. Meaning if the Council's scanners detect this energy signature, they'll know exactly what we're doing. Alan wiped his hands on a rag. The power output is beyond anything they've seen from human technology. Lisa nodded thoughtfully. Can you shield it? Already working on it. Give me 3 more days. As she continued her inspection, Lisa passed groups of workers from every nation on Earth. Chen from China worked alongside Maria from Brazil, while Yuki from Japan shared coffee with Ahmed from Egypt. They had all volunteered for this mission, knowing they might never see Earth again. Commander Jake Thompson met her at the weapons deck. His security team had been working overtime to prevent any information leaks. Any problems, Jake? Lisa asked. Nothing we can't handle. Though we did have a close call yesterday. Council patrol came within 1,000,000 kilometers. We had to shut down all external systems for 6 hours. Did they scan us? They tried, but our camouflage held. As far as their sensors showed, we're just another dead rock. Lisa smiled grimly. Human engineers had developed a new type of stealth technology, using electromagnetic fields to mask their activities. It wasn't perfect, but it worked well enough. In the crew quarters, Lisa found her senior staff gathered around a holographic display. They were reviewing intelligence reports from Earth. The situation's getting worse, reported Lieutenant Bobby Chen, their intelligence officer. The Valaks just moved 3 battle groups closer to human space. And the Zephyrians? Lisa asked. Testing new weapons near our outer colonies. Nothing aggressive yet, but they're probing our defenses. Lisa studied the tactical display. They're testing us, seeing how far they can push before Earth reacts. Earth can't react, Jake pointed out. The treaty forbids it. Which is exactly why we're building this ship, Lisa replied. She gestured to the Defiance's blueprints on the wall. When the time comes, we'll be ready. 3 days later, Alan. Carter called Lisa to the engine room with a big smile on his face. We did it, Captain. Full shielding is operational. The Council won't detect a thing. Lisa activated her comm system. All hands, this is the Captain. Prepare for first test flight. All departments report readiness status. One by one, department heads confirmed their systems were ready. Medical, weapons, navigation, communications. Everyone was prepared. Take us out, Helm, Lisa ordered from the command bridge. The massive ship slipped away from the asteroid, invisible to any scanning equipment. Inside, the crew felt a mixture of pride and fear. They were breaking the biggest law in galactic politics. The test flight went perfectly. The Defiance moved through space like a hunting predator, silent, deadly, and completely undetectable. Back in her quarters that night, Lisa received a coded message from Earth. Ambassador Miller wanted a full status report. She composed her reply carefully. Project proceeding on schedule. First phase complete. Estimated 2 months until operational status. But as she was about to send it, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Captain to the bridge. Jake's voice echoed over the intercom. Lisa ran to the command deck. What's happening? Multiple contacts approaching, reported the radar officer. Configuration matches Council patrol vessels. How many? 5 ships, Corvette class. They're heading straight for us. Lisa's mind raced. Had their test flight been detected? Kill all external power, full stealth mode. And someone wake up Dr. Carter. I need those engines ready to run. The bridge went dark except for emergency lighting. Through the view screen, Lisa could see the approaching Council ships. Their searchlights swept across the asteroid field, looking for something. Distance closing, the radar officer whispered. 300,000 kilometers. They're scanning everything, Jake observed. Not random patrol. They're looking for something specific. For us, Lisa said quietly. Minutes, stretched like hours, the Council ships moved methodically through the asteroid field. At one point, a searchlight passed directly over the Defiance's position. Still holding, the radar officer reported. They're not detecting us. When the Council ships finally moved away, Lisa let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. All clear, Captain, Jake confirmed. They're headed back toward the inner system. That was too close, Alan said, having just arrived on the bridge. They knew something was out here. Or someone told them to look, Lisa suggested grimly. The, implications hung in the air. If there was a traitor among them, everything they'd built could be lost. Double security measures, Lisa ordered. Background checks on everyone, and I mean everyone. As the crew returned to their duties, Lisa stared at the tactical display. They were so close to completing the Defiance, but with Council ships now, actively searching for them, time was running out. That night, she recorded a personal message to her family back on Earth. She might never send it, but writing the words helped calm her nerves. If you're watching this, it means we succeeded or we're all dead. Either way, know that we believed in what we were doing. Humanity deserves to stand equal among the stars, not cower behind treaty restrictions. She paused the recording and looked at the Defiance through her window. Tomorrow, they would continue building. Tomorrow, they would risk everything for the future of their species. Because sometimes, she realized, breaking the rules was the only way to stay free. Captain Lisa Wong woke to the sound of proximity alarms. She grabbed her jacket and rushed to the bridge, where her crew stood frozen at their stations. Report, she demanded, still tying her bootlaces. 12 Council vessels dropped out of hyperspace, reported Lieutenant Bobby Chen. They formed a blockade around our position. Through the view screen, Lisa could see the massive warships. Their weapons were powered but not yet aimed at the asteroid base. How did they find us? Before anyone could answer, the communication console lit up. Incoming transmission, announced the comm officer. They're demanding we respond. Put them through, Lisa ordered. The screen filled with the stern face of an alien officer. His blue skin and multiple arms marked him as Valix. An admiral's insignia gleamed on his uniform. Human vessel, the alien spoke in accented English. You are in violation of Galactic Treaty 14. Surrender immediately. Lisa straightened, her shoulders. This is Captain Lisa Wong of the Asteroid Mining Station 47. We don't know what you're talking about. The Admiral's expression hardened. Do not play games with me, Captain. Our sensors detect a warship under construction. You have 60 seconds to power down all systems and prepare for boarding. Jake Thompson moved to Lisa's side. Orders, Captain. Lisa's mind raced. They could try to run, but the Council ships would destroy them before they cleared the asteroid field. They could fight, but the Defiance wasn't ready for combat. 30 seconds, the Admiral announced. Incoming message from Earth. The comm officer interrupted. Priority 1. On a secondary screen, Ambassador John Miller appeared. Behind him sat General Pete Harris and Susan Blake. Captain Wong, do not surrender, Miller said quickly. We have evidence that proves Council violations of their own treaty. Stand your ground. Evidence? Lisa asked. Susan Blake held up a data pad. Satellite photos, energy readings, intercepted communications. Half the Council's species have been building secret weapons. Sir, the Council is demanding surrender in 20 seconds, Jake urged. Miller's expression was grim. Show them what we know. Force their hand. Lisa turned to her communications officer. Open a channel to all Council vessels. Full broadcast. She faced the view screen. Admiral, before you board this station, your Council should see something. Data. Streams appeared on the transmission. Photographs of hidden Valak shipyards. Energy signatures from illegal Zephyrian weapons tests. Intercepted messages planning military actions against peaceful species. Silence filled the channel. Then chaos erupted. The Gorons accused the Valaks of treaty violations. Alien voices shouted over each other. The Zephyrians demand explanation for surveillance of their worlds. The Admiral's blue skin had turned a deeper shade. These images are falsified. Our quantum dating confirms they're authentic. Susan Blake's voice cut through the argument. We've been monitoring everyone since we suspected the treaty was a sham. Another alien voice joined the channel, one Lisa recognized as the High Counselor. This is highly irregular. All vessels stand down until we investigate these claims. But before anyone could respond, new alarm systems activated. Captain, the sensor officer called out urgently. Massive hyperspace disruptions detected, unknown vessels incoming. The view screen filled with horror. Dozens of dark, angular ships emerged from hyperspace. They moved unlike anything Lisa had seen, not following normal physics but twisting through space itself. What are those? Someone whispered. The answer came as the unknown ships opened fire, not on the humans or Council vessels but on the asteroids themselves. Massive beams of energy reduced kilometer-wide rocks to dust in seconds. Defensive positions, the Valak's admiral shouted. All vessels engage unknown hostiles. But the Council ship's weapons had no effect. Energy shields absorbed every blast. With ease. Captain Wong, the admiral's voice suddenly sounded different, less accusatory, more desperate. Can your vessel provide assistance? Lisa looked at her crew. They all knew the Defiance wasn't ready for combat, but watching the unknown ship systematically destroy everything in their path, she realized they had no choice. Jake, what's our combat readiness? 60% on weapons. Shields at 50%. Engines are operational, but untested in battle. Conditions. The unknown ships had turned their attention to the Council vessels. 3 ships exploded in rapid succession. Captain, we can't just hide here, urged Dr. Alan Carter over the intercom. These things will destroy everything. Lisa made her decision. All hands, battle stations. Prepare to launch the USS Defiance. The Council channel crackled with surprise. Did she say launch? You have a warship? The High Counselor's voice carried a mix of anger and hope. We do, Lisa confirmed. Treaty violation or not, we're all dead if we don't work together. She opened a ship-wide channel. Crew of the USS Defiance, we're facing an enemy none of us understand. Our ship isn't complete, but it's what we have. Today we don't fight as lawbreakers, we fight for survival. Through the view screen, another council ship exploded. The unknown vessels were cutting through the fleet like they were made of paper. Admiral, Lisa addressed the Valix commander. We're moving to engage. Coordinate attack patterns with us. There was a pause, then the Admiral replied, Understood, Captain, United Front. As the USS Defiance powered up and began moving away from the asteroid, Lisa felt a strange mixture of fear and pride. They had built this ship in secret, defying galactic law. Now they would test it against an enemy none of them had imagined. The crew worked with practiced efficiency despite the chaos. Weapons charged, shields raised, engines responding smoothly to command. Unknown vessels changing course, reported the tactical officer. They're targeting us directly. Lisa smiled grimly. Then they've noticed our new toy. Helmsman, evasive maneuvers. Weapons, prepare to show these things why humans are dangerous. The bridge erupted in focused activity as the USS Defiance entered its first battle. Around them, Council and human vessels moved into formation. Captain, Jake said quietly, what are those things? Lisa studied the tactical display, watching. The enemy ships move in ways that defied their understanding of physics. I don't know, Commander, but we're about to find out. The unknown ships opened fire on the Defiance, and the real battle began. Energy beams lashed across the USS Defiance's shields. The ship shuddered but held steady as Lisa Wong gripped her captain's chair. Hull integrity at 90%, called out the damage control officer. Return fire. All batteries, Lisa commanded. The pro. Defiance's weapons fired in perfect coordination. 3 streams of high-energy plasma tore into the nearest unknown vessel. To everyone's surprise, the dark ship's shields flickered and failed. Direct hit, cheered the weapons officer. We're hurting them. But the celebration was short-lived. More enemy ships converged on the Defiance, their strange angular forms moving in ways that made no sense. Captain, reported the science officer, these ships aren't using conventional drives. They're somehow folding space itself. On the main screen, Ambassador Miller reappeared. Captain Wong, we're monitoring the battle. Those vessels match descriptions from our deepest archives. What are they? Lisa demanded while dodging another energy blast. Devourers, Miller replied grimly. Ancient machines that consume entire worlds. They appeared in scattered reports dating back centuries, but we thought them myths. The Valix Admiral's voice crackled over the channel. Human vessel, your weapons are more effective than ours. Take point position. Lisa looked at her tactical display. The Council ships were falling back, their shields failing under the Devourer's assault. But the Defiance's unique design, built with human ingenuity and stolen technology, seemed to be working better. Acknowledged, Admiral. All Council vessels, form defensive formation behind us. Dr. Alan Carter's voice came over the intercom. Captain, our electromagnetic pulse weapons are doing damage to them. It's like they're vulnerable to our older human technology. Then let's give them some old-fashioned human warfare, Lisa replied. Tactical, switch to kinetic weapons. Load torpedo tubes with our heaviest warheads. The shift in strategy proved effective. Physical projectiles penetrated the Devourer's shields more easily than energy weapons. 3 more enemy ships exploded under the Defiance's assault. But for every ship they destroyed, 2 more appeared from hyperspace. Captain, the communications officer reported, we're receiving a signal from Earth. It's a transmission meant for the Devourers. Lisa frowned. Put it through. The screen filled with static, then resolved into the image of High Counselor Zara, a tall alien with crystalline features. Ancient ones, Zara spoke to the Devourers. Withdraw from this system. These worlds are protected by the Galactic Peace Accord. A response came, not in words, but in a sound that made everyone's bones vibrate. The translation appeared on their screens. Peace means nothing to the void. All matter shall be consumed. Zara continued urgently. The humans have proven themselves. They fight alongside us. The old restrictions are lifted. Unite with us against the true threat. Lisa felt a shock of surprise. The treaty was being dissolved, in the middle of battle. Admiral Wong, Zara addressed her directly. Your species has earned full military rights. Will Earth join the Council as equal partners in this fight? Looking at her crew, then at the tactical display where hundreds of Devourer ships continued to arrive, Lisa made her choice. We accept. Humanity stands with the Council. Cheers erupted on the bridge and across all ships in the battle group. All vessels, Lisa announced. The USS Defiance will spearhead our attack. Follow our lead. The combined fleet reorganized around the human ship. Suddenly, coordination improved dramatically. Human tactical computers interfaced with alien systems, creating unprecedented battlefield awareness. We're stronger together, Jake observed, watching the tactical display. But their victory was short-lived. The Devourers changed tactics. Instead of attacking directly, they began targeting the asteroids and debris feeding on the matter itself. They're growing stronger, the science officer warned. Each asteroid they consume adds to their mass and power. How do we stop them from feeding? Lisa asked. Ambassador Miller reappeared on screen. Susan Blake and I have been analyzing Devourer patterns from historical records. They have one weakness. What is it? Asked Admiral Zara. Their collective consciousness. They're all connected. If we can disrupt their network, they'll become confused, easier to destroy. How do we disrupt it? Lisa questioned. With an electromagnetic pulse of unprecedented scale, Miller explained. But it would require a ship to get close to their capital vessel and detonate its core. And silence fell over the bridge. Everyone understood what that meant. A suicide mission, Jake said quietly. Lisa stared at the massive Devourer capital ship looming on the edge of their sensor range. It dwarfed every other vessel in the battle. Not if I can help it, she said firmly. Dr. Carter, can we modify our core for remote detonation? Captain, at this range, can we do it? Alan's voice came through clearly. Yes, but you'll have less than 2 minutes to escape the blast radius. Lisa turned to her crew. I won't order anyone to come with me on this mission. The Defiance needs a skeleton crew to reach that capital ship. Volunteers only. Every hand on the bridge raised simultaneously. Captain, Jake said with a grin, you're not getting rid of us that easily. Lisa felt her eyes water. Then let's go save the galaxy. As the USS Defiance began its final run toward the Devourer mothership, every human and alien vessel provided covering fire. The combined fleet had realized something profound. Their old conflicts meant nothing against this existential threat. The ship accelerated, pushing its experimental engines harder than ever before. The Devourer fleet responded with massive firepower, but the covering fire from their new allies kept them on course. Approaching optimal detonation range, reported the navigation officer. Lisa gripped her chair. Prepare for core detonation. All hands, brace for... Suddenly, the ship's emergency systems activated. Captain, shouted Alan over the intercom. I found something. An ejection system, experimental, but it should work. What are you talking about? Hidden blueprints in our stolen technology. An escape protocol none of us knew about. We can all make it out. Lisa laughed, a sound mixture of relief and amazement. Human ingenuity strikes again. Execute the protocol. The USS Defiance hurtled toward its target, ready to deliver humanity's answer to the ancient threat. Not through destruction, but through sacrifice and unity. The humans and their new allies prepared for their final stand. The USS Defiance thundered toward the massive Devourer capital ship. Around them, the combined fleet of humans and aliens fired everything they had, creating a corridor of destruction. 30 seconds to detonation range, shouted the navigation. Officer Lisa Wong felt her heart racing but kept her voice steady. Weapons, one last volley, let's make some noise. The Defiance's guns blazed, striking the capital ship's outer defenses. Each hit created small explosions across its dark surface. Enemy boarding craft incoming, called Jake Thompson from Tactical. They're sending fighters. Point defense, take them out. Smaller guns on the Defiance rotated and fired, destroying. Wave after wave of Devourer fighters, but they kept coming like metal insects drawn to light. Dr. Carter, status on the ejection system? Lisa demanded. Almost ready, Captain. The escape pods are modified and locked to your bridge crew. Everyone else has standard evacuation routes. One of the Devourer fighters broke through their defenses, smashing into the Defiance's hull. Alarms screamed throughout the ship. Hull, breach on Deck 7, reported damage control. Sealing emergency doors. Time to target? 10 seconds. Lisa reached for the ship's intercom. All hands, this is the captain. It's been an honor serving with you. Prepare for emergency evacuation. You have 90 seconds. She turned to her bridge crew. Same for you. This ride's about to get rough. Jake stepped forward. Captain, we've come this far together. That's an order, Commander. Every life counts. Go. The bridge crew hesitated for a moment, then began their evacuation procedures. Only the essential stations remained manned. Optimal detonation range achieved, announced the computer. Lisa activated the core overload sequence. Computer, implement escape protocol, set timer for 2 minutes. Acknowledged. Escape pods deploying in sequence. The massive Devourer capital ship loomed ahead, its bulk filling the entire view screen. Strange energy patterns played across its surface like lightning trapped in metal. Suddenly, the enemy ship shifted. Massive weapons emerged from hidden ports, all aimed at the Defiance. Incoming fire, the computer warned. Lisa strapped herself into the captain's chair. Come on, old girl. Just a little longer. Energy beams lashed out from the capital ship. The Defiance's shields flared and died. Explosions rocked the ship as systems overloaded. Critical damage to all decks. Engineering offline, life support failing. Launch escape pod sequence now, Lisa commanded. She felt the ship shudder as pods jettisoned from all sections. Through the static-filled view screen, she could see them speeding away, protected by covering fire from the Allied fleet. Escape pod final sequence initiated, the computer announced. Captain's emergency protocol activated. The bridge around Lisa began to shift and fold. The captain's chair locked into a reinforced pod formation, while emergency shields wrapped around her position. 30 seconds to core detonation. The Devourer capital ship tried one last attack, sending tendrils of dark energy toward the Defiance, but it was too late. 5 seconds. Lisa whispered a prayer her grandmother had taught her. For Earth, for humanity, for all life. The USS Defiance's experimental core overloaded in a brilliant flash. The blast tore through space, creating a sphere of pure energy that engulfed the Devourer capital ship. The electromagnetic pulse radiated outward, washing over every Devourer vessel in the system. Their dark ships began to shake and convulse as their collective consciousness network shattered. Devourers withdrawing, alien voices shouted over the communication channels. They're falling back. As the energy dissipated, escape pods and debris filled the space where the Defiance had been. Allied ships immediately began rescue operations. Lisa's emergency pod tumbled through space, its systems barely functioning. Through the small window, she watched the Devourer fleet retreating into hyperspace, their coordinated movements now chaotic and confused. This is Rescue Shuttle Alpha 7, a voice crackled over her emergency radio. We have visual on Captain Wong's pod. Initiating recovery. Minutes later, strong hands pulled Lisa from her damaged pod into a council rescue vessel. Her crew rushed to embrace her, tears and laughter mixing together. Captain, Jake beamed, sporting a bandaged head. I told you we'd make it out. The Devourers, she asked weakly. In full retreat, reported Admiral Ben Foster, the Valek's commander, stepping forward. Your sacrifice broke their collective mind. They've lost the ability to coordinate. 3 days later, Lisa stood in the rebuilt council chamber. Representatives from every member species filled the seats, including a large delegation from Earth. Ambassador John Miller read from an official document. By unanimous vote, humanity is granted full membership in the Galactic Council, with all rights and privileges. The Treaty of Restrictions is hereby dissolved. Cheers erupted from the human delegation. But Lisa noticed something different in the chamber. Aliens and humans sitting together, talking, sharing data tablets. High Counselor, Zara approached the podium. Captain Wong, the Council wishes to offer you a unique position. The USS Defiance, though destroyed, proved that our greatest strength comes from unity and innovation. We propose forming a new joint task force, combining the best of all our sea technologies and cultures. Lisa stepped forward. I accept on one condition: no more secrets, no more hidden weapons. We face the universe together, or not at all. Zara's crystalline features formed what might have been a smile. Agreed, Captain. Welcome to the era of true galactic cooperation. As Lisa left the chamber, she passed a large display showing ongoing construction. A new vessel was taking shape, built jointly by human and alien engineers. Its hull bore the markings, USS Unity. Jake caught up with her in the corridor. Think we did it, Captain? Proved humans belong among the stars? Lisa looked out at the vast expanse beyond the station's windows. I think we proved something better, Commander. We proved that working together, any species can overcome impossible odds. Outside, the stars shone brighter than ever before, no longer divided by fear and distrust. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or supplicants, but as equals in a vast community of worlds. And somewhere in deep space, the Devourers retreated to the darkness, their ancient threat broken by the simple human concept that had always made the species dangerous. The refusal to give up, and the wisdom to know when to reach out for help. The age of isolation was over. The age of unity had begun.